This is just a completely nerd side note as a comic book reader and a comic book fan. Did you notice during this show, Riri wears a lot of stomach showing shirts, like half shirts, whatever you want to call them? Ironheart has been released on Disney Plus. Well, at least the first 3 episodes have. I got my Ironheart statue here as my companion for today. And we're going to go through the first 3 episodes. There will be tons of spoilers here. So if you didn't see it and you care, go watch it. If not, continue on. Let's get into it. For this review, I decided to just jot down my ideas and feelings and thoughts as the show went on, since it was 3 episodes. And I kind of want to condense this into one video. So it won't be here too long, but I'll try to get out as much as I can to give you my true thoughts as the show went on. So, in the beginning, episode 1, things started out a little fast to me. The pacing was a little rapid. It kind of went over things really quick. I was trying to just catch on to everything that was going on. Did this take place before or after Wakanda Forever? Kind of had to just jog my memory and catch up on things, but it wasn't too bad so far. Riri's getting kicked out of school for helping everyone with their projects to make a little money on the side. That's kind of the storyline where it's going right here. The dean from Community makes an appearance. Shout out to him because I love that show and I miss it so much. I hope they're still doing that movie. But anyway, I'm getting off topic. With her getting kicked out of school, the security has to escort her off the premises in which she's supposed to grab her things. And she gets a full-on Iron Man suit and just flies off to Chicago, I guess. Okay. They waste no time showing the Hood's colorful gang, and I mean colorful. I mean, they got all types of characters mixed in here. But the shining stars of it all are Anthony Ramos, who plays the Hood, and Manny Montana, who plays John. These two characters, when they came onto the show, kind of struck me, and I really liked them. They brought a serious and upscale tone. You can tell that they're seasoned actors and you kind of just gravitate to what they're doing. Really good on screen. So far at this time, this is the best thing I've seen out of the show. The visuals of Chicago are really nicely done. We got some vibrant scenes. We got some dull scenes. We kind of see the city. It doesn't really feel super alive with a bunch of characters, but you kind of feel like this is a real place. So I think the cinematography with that is pretty good. Let's move on to the next major scene where Riri is being recruited by the Hood, and they trap her in the elevator in this escape room type of thing, and she decides to figure her way out, and they're all betting on how is she going to figure her way out of this situation. To me, this is actually a great scene because, Riri is supposed to be a genius, and this shows some of her intellect and how she can improvise and do things in these type of situations using just her brain. We really didn't get that much of that in Wakanda Forever, but this is her show and her time to shine. So we really just need to see that. And I'm glad they shown some of that here in this scene. And I hope they keep going with that because up until now, I don't really get the genius thing for her. I mean, she recreated an Iron Man suit, then she kind of worked with Shuri and Wakanda. So we didn't really get an exact pinpoint of her intelligence level per se. She gets to speak with the Hood, and his pitch is basically do crime and get money. It's a simple pitch, but I guess it's effective because she goes along with it like almost instantly. Not even really a second thought. It only took one meeting and him flashing some cash, and she was down with doing crime for cash. I don't know, the progression with that wasn't really great to me, like Riri Williams is supposed to be a hero. At least I feel like she would have been a little more reluctant, at least give it a day or two. I feel like so many things were just rushed into this first episode. And to be honest, it's nothing against Dominique Thorne, but she's just not how I envision Riri from being a comic book reader. I mean, I was an avid comic book reader at the time when Riri was introduced, and this is not how I pictured live action Riri to be. And Dominique Thorne doesn't really bring it home emotionally for me, even with the scenes where she's flashing back about the death of her stepdad and friend. I mean, she's doing all the things that you think she should do on screen, but for some reason, it just didn't hit right for me. I can't exactly put my finger on it. I didn't really like her casting, to be honest. Some people may be against that. Hey, that's just how I feel. I think there were so many other people that could have been in the runnings. Maybe even the Sky Jackson, who we know she was kind of based off of. But hey, I don't know. It just wasn't hitting for me at this point. We get a few more scenes with Anthony Ramos and Manny Montana as John. And I think these guys really upped the ante on this show. A lot of the sub characters, background characters, side characters, including her mother, one of the kids, I think his name is Landon, that she meets on the street. Her potential love interest, I guess, his name is Xavier, I believe. They're all just kind of there, but Anthony Ramos really ups the ante to like this could be a movie level production with his acting, I think. But everyone else just kind of makes me feel like I'm in the later years of the CW, sad to say. The episode ends with Riri's best friend that's dead showing up as her AI because she scanned her brainwaves. And I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I guess it could be cool, but let's wait and see what happens. My honest score on episode one, it's a 3 out of 10. It's very fast paced, a little jarring. It's hard to really grasp. I don't really feel emotionally attached to any of the characters, but Anthony Ramos does seem to hold my attention as the Hood. Maybe that's why Disney decided to drop 3 episodes at one time, because they knew if you had to wait around, you might not come back, because this one doesn't really make me want to watch the next one. If I had to wait a week, I might have forgot about it. But since it's here, I'm going to binge through it. So let's get into episode 2. Episode 2 starts out with her continuing to argue with her AI friend ghost brainwave thing, which is another scene that just doesn't hit the mark for me. I get the Casper, the friendly ghost thing they're trying to go for here, but I'm just not interested in it. I don't know what to say. It was just not interested to me. I don't think the scene with them arguing back and forth is as entertaining as the writers thought it was going to be. The Hood formally introduces his gang in the next scene, and we get to know a little bit about where he got them from. I was hoping to get a lot of Easter eggs here, maybe some deep dive characters, or maybe not so deep. We did get a mention of Madripoor, which was cool, but I think they could have did a lot more here. Maybe I'm missing something. If there's something you guys know, let me know. If there's some Easter eggs I missed up until this point, please drop them in the comments. At this point in the story, we get a character named Joe. He's giving me real Bob Century vibes. He's kind of quirky and awkward. He's a good addition so far because we have so many lackluster characters. I'm thinking he's on the okay on the spectrum. I don't hate him. I don't love him. But it's an interesting back and forth between him and Riri. A good dynamic so far. Riri's AI starts to really just get on my nerves. It learns how to text. It's blowing her up like a crazy ex-girlfriend. I just I don't like the Riri in the AI plot line. I'm not feeling it at all. I just not interested in the least bit. If you are, please tell me if there's anything about the AI that you think is cool, or do you think it is a good plot line in the show, or do you think it's just garbage filler that's kind of just distracting? Okay, so episode 2, we get the first job with Riri and the Hood's crew. Finally, let's break into the action. Wait, when did the MCU get Elon Musk Tesla tunnels underneath Chicago? Was this something that's been going on? Is this new? Did I miss it? I don't know. And this is all going on during a heist fight scene to the backdrop of Shaka Khan. I don't know. At this point, I'm just watching this show. I don't even know if I'm understanding anything anymore. I'm just here. My eyes are glued. I'm just watching it. I don't know. I kind of 80% lost interest at this point. It wasn't really grasping me. Then the Hood shows up, and once again, I'm sucked right back in. I must say, I'm gonna say this over and over and over again in this review. Anthony Ramos as the Hood is the most compelling thing out of this show, like hands down. Every time he's on screen, I wind up locking back in and just wanting to see what's going to happen. Riri's AI has like a spaz attack when a cop is trying to stop her, and the Hood comes and saves her with a magic bullet straight out of Wanted. And he's just badass, man. I like him. I really like him. I honestly could do with the Hood the show, and you could just drop Riri out at this point, because when she comes on screen, I kind of just blank out. This is just a completely nerd side note. As a comic book reader and a comic book fan, did you notice during this show, Riri wears a lot of stomach showing shirts, like half shirts, whatever you want to call them, midriff showing shirts? I got a point here. Just follow me. Let me cook for a minute. Early on in Riri's comic book history, she had a huge scandal where there was a cover by J. Scott Campbell with Riri wearing like a half shirt showing her midriff, and she's supposed to be 15 years old. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're not in the comics, or you weren't in the comics at that time, just look up J. Scott Campbell, Riri Williams, Midtown Comics cover controversy, something like that. I'm guaranteed it'll come up. this cover was canceled because of the outrage of this. And I feel like some way, somehow, the people who are running this show deliberately make her wear shirts like this just to say to the fans, F you, we don't care what you think. This is our thing. Comics don't matter. Because, like, why? Why is she always wearing these type of shirts? I know it seems like a small, nitpicky, weird thing, but knowing the history behind it, you might feel like I feel too. There's a reason for this. Anyway, that's the end of episode 2. It ends with Joe cutting daisies off of a bush or something. This episode is a 4 out of 10. It got a little extra points because of the Elon Musk tunnels and, again, Anthony Ramos showing his face as the Hood. I'm going to try to get through episode 3. We're going to do it. Let's do it together. Episode 3 starts with the Hood gang telling what they're going to do with all of their money. And for some reason, Clown, the demolitions expert or arsonist of the crew, decides to break into the Hood's vault and take his hood and wear it and complain about why it's hot. Then she gets manhandled by John, and that's basically the end of that. I don't know. The scene was kind of awkward. I just don't know. Where are we going with this? They go on to plan their next big heist while simultaneously robbing me of my time that I can't get back. I don't know what I'm doing here. The AI continues to be super annoying, trying to get out of Riri's computer for some strange reason. It winds up having this long talk with Riri and calming her down from an anxiety attack. And she wonders, how did you know that? Only my friend knows that. Hello, she is a AI representation of your friend. You used your brain waves to create this AI. You're supposed to be a genius. It doesn't take a genius to know how she might know that. This is really starting to annoy me. What they did to Riri Williams, this character, this is not Riri. What is this character? At this point, I think I could have just rewrote the whole show and came up with a better plot. Why didn't we just get like Riri versus the Techno Golem, or maybe Shang-Chi's sister, who's in charge of the 10 rings now, creates some type of thing and they fight. That way you could still have some magic and some technology and it makes sense and it would forward their stories and you can show her actually being a genius, not running around like something is really wrong up there. I kind of feel bad for the actress who has to play the AI because this is not a great role and it's super annoying. And I don't know if anyone is going to come out of this saying, hey, I want to see more of her. And it's not because of her or her acting per se. It's the role is just not great. Anyway, let's talk about something positive, maybe. As the show goes on, the Hood's tattoos seem to grow on his body. Well, he gets more tattoos as the virus starts to grow, I guess, to cover him up, which is a cool little plot point. So that's something I can say is positive in there, right? But then we get right back to just insane nonsense. Joe calls Riri over to help him with an implant that he's putting in his arm. It's just like an open wound there with blood and tech inside of it. What is happening? He's just acting like nothing's going on. It's just so weird. During this scene, we do find out that he is Obadiah Stane's son, Ezekiel Stane, which is pretty cool. A good piece of the story, but it's a little too late and not enough to keep me wanting to watch this. The next big heist, this one is for episode 3, comes upon us. My excitement is non-existent, but the Hood comes on the screen and he has a dialogue with this rich guy that he's trying to, I think, rob. He's giving him a contract to sign. What could really be going on here? I think I might know. I don't think it's about money per se, but we'll figure that out later. Riri manages to mess up the plans by trying to take a piece of his cloak to analyze it because she's just too nosy and needs to know how his power works instead of fixing her crappy suit. But nonetheless, it leads me to something I was super excited about. Riri sets off a few alarms and we get the Hood. He makes his first kill. Then he's chased down by a bunch of guards and we get to see him fight in spectacular fashion. I mean, this is the best thing I've seen out of this show in 3 episodes. Why didn't we just get the Hood, the show? I mean, maybe we could get that now. They did it with Agatha, right? Just take Riri off. Just give me the Hood. Give me the Hood in it. You can even add his gang in there. You could do something. Make her a cameo. Make him the lead because at this point, this is all I'm watching the show for. Riri, with her genius, gets all of the gang trapped in these rooms and their oxygen is being sucked out. So she goes to save them. Of course, the hood goes to save them because he actually cares about them. He breaks in and manages to save some of his people, which is a great thing and interesting to see. He's not just an evil guy. There's a lot more going on here. The layers are starting to play out. And I like this part of the show. Riri gets into a fight with John because he finds out she stole a piece of the hood's cloak. What is this? Is she supposed to be a hero? Where are the redeeming qualities here? I don't see it. How did they allow this? How is this going to continue? How is she going to continue on? I don't know. It gets worse because then she has a full out fight with John. They're both about to die. The suit comes in, saves her. She gets in the suit, goes out, and allows the door to close with John in there. All the oxygen is sucked out the room and he dies. Riri left him to die. I understand their whole down to earth realism thing. He tried to fight her, he tried to kill her, he tried to expose her. It doesn't matter. This is a superhero thing. Where's the hero part? This is not a superhero show. I don't know what this is. That was horrible and tragic. And I like that character. I like John. I like Manny's character. It just seems so weird and out of character. This is just, when does this happen? I don't know. This was just too much for me. At this point, I just wanted to turn the show off and never watch it again. To wrap it up, she goes down and she cries about the whole situation. The hood, of course, is pissed off about his best friend or his cousin or something dying, and he's asking for help or whoever's the higher power to him what happened, and they show him a vision of who did it and what happened. Interesting. I want to see more just because of the hood. The next 3 episodes are dropping all together. I think those are the final 3 episodes. I'm going to try my best to get through them because I am interested in what happens here from the hood's perspective. But honestly, I don't know. I'm going to give this episode a 6 out of 10 just because of the action with the hood. But really, this is becoming difficult to watch. I hate to do a disclaimer like this, but I just don't want to be lumped in as one of these Riri haters because I know the show was getting so much hate and probably some review bombs before it even dropped. But I must say, this is not that great of a show to me at this point. And I am no stranger, or am I afraid to be on the side of the least popular opinion. I was someone who actually liked The Acolyte and defended it in my reviews. You can go back and look. Crazy conversations, took a lot of heat. But this show is just not much there to hold on to. It's just not that great so far. I am going to watch the next 3 episodes since they're coming out in a binge-worthy format, and that's going to be the end, and I'm no quitter. I want to see what's going to happen. I don't know how much they could pick it up in 3 episodes, but maybe it can get to being halfway decent. But right now, this show is probably a 2 out of 10 overall from me. I would not watch this again up until this point. If this is where it ended, I would not recommend it to anyone. And it's sad to say because I wanted to, get a good Marvel show. I just don't know what to do with this. If you do like the show, please comment down below. Tell me the great things you like about it. Try to sway me. I mean, give me all the things that you love about this show that makes it a 5 or better. If you think this show is a 5 or better, please just let me know. I'm open to a good conversation. Like I said, I'm not just somebody who's here to hate or review bomb. This is just, it is what it is. This has been just Dale, a Riri Williams fan. I can pull out so many graded comics of Riri Williams. I actually like Riri Williams as a character, not an Ironheart hater, but this is disappointing. Let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. Got a lot of dope interviews, reviews, and stuff like that coming soon, so you're gonna want to stick around. I'll probably review the next 3 episodes whenever I can get through them. I'll see you there.